That GMC is wrong with it.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chasing the Whimsy. I'm your host Ben, and we're here with
Megan,
Megan. Guess what we're doing today?
collabing with CineAmigos.
What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing over there?
Good. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
We're doing fantastic. You're a little low.
I'll try to get
We reached out a little while ago, and we wanted to do like a crossover episode. And we're trying to figure out what movie would be nice for us to cross over. But before we get into the movie, how have you guys been?
You want to go first? Let's introduce him first,
Oh.
and then since he's the one that hasn't been on the show before, and
right.
let's see how he's doing.
Well, Juan, pleasure to meet you guys. I'm doing fairly all right, but I just had a couple weekends where I'm like getting sick or hungover or something else, so I just been all up and down.
Happens to the best of us.
Yep. I'm doing really well. Been at a new job for a couple of months now, and it's been really good. Been there for a whole semester, so
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. I'm working in 2 jobs right now, trying to get more money, but overall I've been doing well.
Well, fantastic. I'd reached out a little bit ago. We're going to try to set up something for Fan Fusion because that's where we had met you guys. And you guys said you'd be interested in coming up and hanging out with us at Fan Fusion, yeah?
yes, we are
Perfect.
very interested in going up there and being part of whatever you have planned.
Perfect.
Sounds like a good
Yeah, and I've been
time.
doing fan fusion for a couple of years now. Well, actually, more than a couple of years. And honestly, we welcome any opportunities that we ever can do in terms of our activities in fan fusion. So I'm excited.
Oh, very cool. So let's get to know the CineAmigos a little bit. You guys have, at the time of this recording, you have about 42 episodes. What is it like knowing that you got 42 episodes on the internet right now?
Crazy. we kind of do, let's say, per recording we do 5 to 6 episodes.
Okay.
We are planning to
Bringing down.
bring them down a little bit, just because we want the viewers to get a chance to watch each one of them. We were uploading way too fast, we believe, right? And
Yeah, a little oversaturation with the videos. But I do think it was necessary that we do that because at the very least it helped us get more comfortable with talking with each other and
Oh, for sure.
those videos.
so anything else to add, Eddie?
No, and then it also works with our scheduling since I live an hour away and having like less videos going and adding on to Juan. When we reach like a 5 or the 5th video of recording, we're exhausted,
Oh, I
and
bet.
sometimes
Oh, of course.
the our energy goes down. So it would be better to bring down the videos for sure.
We are
100%. 'Cause-
also
yeah.
we are also working on our quality of video as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Each time I think we have been getting better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I noticed that you guys changed from the 2 camera to the single camera. What was that decision for?
Honestly, it was mostly just like feedback from people that were watching our videos. They did like prefer having a full image to like watch
Okay.
on their screen compared to like 2 smaller ones.
They
I
didn't
like
like
the
the
double wand though.
yeah, they didn't like the
He's
Too
obsessed
Juans
with
is
the
too much
angles,
Juan.
dude.
2 lines is too much fun. Yep.
And you also have a bunch of guests with you already. I saw you recently did one with I think Ashley. You guys were
Yes.
doing your 26 not predictions, but your what you're excited for, your upcoming 26s.
Yeah.
uh,
Yep.
How is it bringing new people in?
I personally find it to be some of our most enjoyable videos where we actually talk at our most comfortable and can actually like
Give good input.
yeah, well, it's just like the feeling I want to have when we record is more us talking with each other instead of us presenting information or anything. And in those
Right.
videos where we bring someone, we feel more fluid between talking to each other.
Very cool. Is it hard to get new people to come on?
No, usually the 3, 4 people we've invited, they're like, "Oh hell yeah, I want to do this. Let's go."
Yeah.
So I
Uh,
think I think just us, the people we ask, we know their personality and we know that they're able to step in front of a camera
Mhm.
and are willing to do it with us. So um, I think that's what's made it easier as well.
Yeah.
very cool.
Ben is very jealous right now. He has such a hard time getting people to be on camera.
Um, do you guys have a favorite episode yet? 42. You do a lot of movie reviews. You do
I
breakdowns of
do, and
TV
oh, sorry.
shows.
Mhm.
So
I think
a lot of
I don't know about
content.
playing. Oh, sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, 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 you're
My
fine.
bad. I think, and I don't know if they can agree with me or not, but I think our Halloween episode,
Yeah,
where we had multiple guests was actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
And for me personally, I love talking about stuff I've already watched and have information on. For that episode, I managed to bring all these fun facts and stuff about the movies that I personally love. So for me, it was the best episode we had.
I think the 2 best episodes we've had are the October one and the Christmas one. The
Mhm.
Christmas one we
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I like that one too. We all had similar movies, and then they made fun of me for having the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special in there, but it is a movie.
It is a bit niche, I'll give
Right.
them that.
Well, people like the Star Wars holiday special. So like you're right there with that, like that weird niche, like side piece
Yep.
of media.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you, Eddie?
No, I agree with like having the Halloween special because it also gives perspective because when people watch a movie, they have a different perspective, a different feeling as compared to you, and sharing those stories and experiences can really elevate like the video.
Yeah,
Just
for
having
sure.
fun and being together, basically sharing stories.
And then people do love their top 10 lists.
Right.
Always.
I like a good list.
Yep.
Mm.
Are you guys happy that you started podcasting?
Definitely. I'm happy at least. I don't know.
No, it's definitely been a rocky road, but definitely I've taken more positives out of the experience, and I do enjoy it.
Very
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, if it's just I've I've had like a love more for movies again because
Mhm.
usually when it came to watching movies in the past, like I just watched what was a popular thing, but now I'm like more excited to go see movies for sure.
Oh, very
Even if
cool.
it's a
Yeah,
bad movie, I like watching them, and it's just a love for it for movies again for me.
very cool. Well, congratulations to the CineAmigos. 42 episodes. I just did a small interview with Ming Chen, who was over there at FanFusion, and he mentioned like a lot of podcasts don't get to 10, let alone
Mm,
40. So congratulations and at least putting it out there. As long as you're having fun, I think it's a huge win for you guys. So keep up the good work for sure.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Today we're gonna cross over. This is part one of of a review of a franchise and of a movie. Um, you guys are movie reviews, so we're gonna let you guys part two review the movie. But
Okay.
today I would like to let's discuss the franchise overall. The franchise that we're talking about is Scream, 1996's Scream. How did you guys feel about us? This idea of collabing on Scream. You guys like Scream?
I think Eddie is the one that can take this one more because he's watched all of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was excited when you mentioned Scream because it is one of my favorite horror franchises. And it's going up to 7 now, so it's just really excited to be talking about this one.
And they're already making 8.
Wow.
It's already in development too.
Oh, good.
Plus a TV show that
Oh, yeah.
came out.
The TV show was good.
Mhm.
Was
I
it?
did watch the TV show.
All right.
I heard there was a lot of mixed reviews about the recreation of the ghost mask in the show. They wear like a different kind of mask. It's got like dark sockets or something.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But other
I
than
was
that,
not
I
a
think the plotting
yeah,
was good.
I was personally not a fan of that mask, but like the TV show itself, it was pretty good.
Oh yeah, the writing and the acting and everything, the plot is good, but the mask is a little bit goofy.
Yeah. For me, I've watched 3 of them. I've watched the first one, and then I think it was the 4th one and the last one,
Okay.
so number 6.
And for me, it's more embarrassing, but I've only watched the first one. And even before then, for years, I thought the scary movie Ghostface was the legit one. So
Megan, when did you experience Scream?
Okay, so I've watched all the movies. Obviously I watched the first one probably like in the early 2000s. I know it came out in 1996, but I was like 5. So,
Mm.
um and I've watched it up until this point. I would say the strongest movies for me though are probably the first and the third and the fifth. But
It's got that Star Trek quality where, like, what is it? Star Trek says every even number is
Yeah.
good. So we're saying Scream every odd number is good.
well, if you think about it, the first 4 are the Craven era Scream movies. So Wes
Yeah.
Craven directed the first 4 movies, and then obviously tragically died in 2015, right after the 4th one was made. So those ones, like the beginning movies, they have their own like storyline, their own themes. It's closed down, and I feel like for those ones, the first one and the third one are the most pronounced. I like the 5th one too. I think it was a good reboot. It's called Scream. It's not called Scream 5. It's supposed to be a reboot. I think it did a good job of like restarting the trilogy. But after that, I feel like maybe it fell off a little bit. Like
I
there
like
was
the
some
6th one.
Mhm.
yeah, there was just some
I liked
boring
it.
stuff going on in some of the movies after that.
So, but based on that logic, are you saying that you think Scream 7 is going to be an amazing movie?
I think that it will be. The writer for Scream 1, Kevin Williamson, is the director on Scream 7. So
Okay.
it's kind of
Oh.
harkening back to the original Scream, but also going into more of his ideas because he wrote for Scream 1, but then he was out of the franchise in 2 and 3 and 4 and etc. So he actually had a whole different vision for the franchise. He went and made a show. It's called The Following. It's got Kevin
Oh,
Bacon
I
in
just
it.
watched
Yeah.
that. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
That was
Oh,
that was actually what he had envisioned for the Scream franchise, was it to become more of like The Following.
oh, that's so cool. Like a cult of
Yeah,
like,
so like a cult of Ghostface. So I thought that was an interesting idea.
Well,
Obviously, it worked better as its own show, but I thought it's going to be interesting getting a little bit more of his input on it.
Mhm.
awesome.
alright.
Yeah.
Um, the yeah. So Juan, your question. I think 7 because what's interesting. We'll get into it in a little bit about how meta the Scream franchise is. They've been building the last couple of movies, recreating the rules and reestablishing the rules. Spoiler: one of the legacy characters died, so there's. I like this idea of like, do we or do we not kill Sydney Scott, Prescott?
Prescott.
So I do think 7 is going to be good. I think she was absent from 6 and she's coming back for 7. So I'd like to see what she's up to.
If I may
That was
ask a
more of like
question,
a contract thing
Yeah.
than it had to do with the story,
Yeah.
but that's another story altogether.
if I can ask you guys a question, for someone
Yep.
that only has seen one of the Scream movies, which ones do you think are my requirement to watch before entering 7?
I mean, there is this whole concept with the Scream franchise, which is different than every other franchise horror-wise. in every franchise, if you're looking at Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, we're here for Freddy, we're here for Jason, we're here for Michael Myers. In the Scream franchise, you're here for those legacy characters. You're here for the victim. Ghostface is always going to be a different person. So there is no Ghostface. There's no Michael Myers and it's the same guy hunting everybody. Ghostface always changes people. There's like 2 movies where they have the exact same motive.
Yeah.
Did you see that where they all wanted to have their own legacy and they were making their own thing? They're like film students. That was a little embarrassing that there's like 2 in a row that have the same motive. But I think that if you can watch as many as you can, that's awesome. I think Scream 1, you did a good job there, so you ever watched that one. Scream
The
3 is the first introduction to the hyper meta, I feel like, in Scream. So Scream started out as like a meta franchise talking about horror movies. What are the rules of horror movies? What are the limitations of horror movies? What's silly about them? What's great about them? But when you get to 3, it ramps it up because it's them filming a movie about the movie that we've already seen.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's like all these different layers. It's so great. There's humor in there, but it's also scary. There's an interesting like mystery plot line going on. You find out a lot more about the legacy characters and
Yeah.
like their families. So I think 3 is definitely one that I would say is one to watch.
I think 1, 3, 4 is interesting only because it's it definitely 1 and 3. 4 kind of gets into the absurd a little bit, but 5 or 6, I think either 5 or 6. I think you get the first and the last of the original trilogy, and then hit one of the newer era ones.
For sure, in 5, you're gonna get what we're gonna call new legacy characters. So we're talking like, Gale Weathers, Sidney Prescott, Dewey. They're people who we watched throughout the first 4. They're still in the 5th one and moving on, but they introduce more characters
Yeah.
kind of there to take over for them because they're now like older. People want to see young people in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch 5, that way you'll be introduced to like the newer set of
Yeah.
characters.
Oh yeah, get the introduction. I would say that.
Yeah.
Take 5 over 6. 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah, like yeah.
That's the best ones. That's
Yeah, the best ones.
And
what about you guys?
sadly
Which ones are your
this
favorites?
and sadly for these new ones, we won't get to see Melissa Barrero or Jenna Ortega, which I believe were the bright spots of both movies, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
But we'll see. We'll see how the other new legacy characters that are still in the movies do.
Well, what's always interesting too is the franchise has shown that nobody's really dead.
True.
So we could eventually bring them back, I think, probably for 8. It'd be really interesting to see if they
I
tie it
believe
in.
Jenna Ortega said that she had scheduling conflicts,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a throw off, but I think that she like those 2 characters are good because they're supposed to be linked to Billy Loomis, who is
Yeah.
one of the killers in the first one. It's interesting because while they're victims, they also kind of at the end show like joy in killing. So like they fight
Yes.
back against their attackers, but more than just self-defense. And they seem to be like having the spirit of Billy. They see like visions of him in
Yeah.
the movie and stuff like that. But I thought that was kind of an interesting twist on it instead of having, maybe like Sidney Prescott who holds herself up and has a million guns and is
Right.
got, a million security cameras. These people are more forward as victims and willing to go after their attackers, but is it too far? That's something they can kind of explore.
Yeah. It is really interesting what the point you make is in the first 3, they end it with a gunshot. Whereas in 5 and 6, there's your heroes are way more physical in the way that they're killing
Right.
people. So they're like, no more guns. We're gonna sit here and get real stabby with people. So it gets kind of interesting how they made that change.
And I think that Scream has kind of been ahead of the game on that.
Mhm.
If you look at, the reboots of I Know What You Did Last Summer or
Mhm.
the Halloween franchise with, like, the older Jamie Lee Curtis, we see, like, a bunch of people who are, suffering through PTSD, and they're ready for attacks at any moment. They're holed up in their houses. They have no lives. They, like, having trouble with all of their connections in life. But that kinda started with Sydney
Yeah.
Prescott. She holds
Mhm.
herself up in the 2nd movie,
Mhm.
and she became the icon for a legacy character who becomes more and more badass, but also damaged.
Y She carries the trauma, but she doesn't hold it as a crutch that holds her back.
Correct, she advances.
Yeah. Uh, why haven't you watched any of the other ones? This franchise spans 20 years.
Good
Yeah, but
question,
11
man.
years were with
Um,
no franchise between
Yeah.
4 and 5.
so here's the thing. I generally don't watch horror franchises. I love horror movies, but I prefer individual stories. And I also like watching some weird ones. I sometimes venture into like the Japanese genre. I also really like what was it When Evil Lurks? It's an Argentinian horror movie. So I really like the ones involving with like demons and ghosts and all that type of stuff. With killer movies that become franchises, like after the first one, I don't have as much fear of it. So I guess I like that surprise impact of the first story being told, you know?
Yeah, and it's definitely I feel like Scream actually mentions this a lot after the first, Halloween, after the first Friday
Yeah.
the 13th. Things get progressively and progressively sillier and cheaper, like a cash grab. The Scream movies are more like a open parody of movies like that. And then obviously you have Scary Movie, which
Oh, I rewatch
parodies
that
the
Huh.
movie all the
parody,
time.
Yeah.
which
Wait,
parodies the parody, and those
will
ones are
will
super
we
funny.
will we get the return of Doofus for the next one?
So we're talking about this with anticipated movies. They're making a new scary movie. And it
Yeah.
would be funny considering we're getting Scream 7 that for this new scary movie they bring back Doofy as Ghostface. It would
Nice.
be really
Yeah.
fun to see it.
Uh, that is fantastic. I love the idea of the scary movie coming back. The Wayans brothers are coming back for it. Um, are they bringing back Anna Faris?
Yes.
I'm
They
not
they I
sure.
Oh,
think most of
yeah.
the original cast is coming back for this one.
Oh, and then forget the other one's name, but yeah, it would be interesting to see them come back. I'm very excited for the new scary movie for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it might bring back, like you said, Ghostface for that one.
I
right.
am excited regardless whether they choose to do that or not. I am looking forward to seeing what they're gonna make fun of involving the new era of horror that we're in right now. There's like so much to pick from. Like
Oh,
even Pennywise.
you'll
I
definitely get
mean,
like a Get Out reference for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
Keenan and Peele or
Key and Peele.
yes. So you'll definitely see some of those references. That'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
I
The
do hope
Wayne
they don't
brothers are
hold back though.
genius. Yeah. Uh, the Pablo Eddie, what do you guys like about the franchise? Juan hasn't seen it. He's not real big on the scariness but of it. But having seen a few of them, what do you guys like about the idea of how meta it is? Like how self-aware these movies are of each other?
Mm. For me, um, like you said, like just the meta of it, that's what really like I enjoy of. Like it's basically making fun of horror movies.
Mhm.
And also, like you said, the backwards of it, instead of having the same pro antagonist, it changes through each movie. It's always like that concept. Like for example, like when Scream 5 came out, it was Jack Quaid. He did a good job in there with being one of the two screams in that movie. And and in the beginning, Billy's character, Billy Loomis, and then Matthew Lillard's character, like
Oof.
like you can't beat Matthew Lillard in that movie for sure. But like it's also pretty interesting of their motives and like how they are as a character for
Mm.
each movie.
For me, I just watch them because my sister wants to watch them, to be honest. It's not that I don't like them. I enjoy them. They're fun, right? They're pretty fun. But whenever my sister's like, "Hey, I want to go watch the next Scream movie," I'm like, "Well, let's go. I'll take you." And sometimes she watches it before and she's like, "Oh, this one's good. Let's go watch it." And so
I mean, also
Uh,
the cultural impact of Ghostface has since that movie came out has been like not dead because every time in Halloween you see kids with Ghostface all the time. You're always gonna see Ghostface every year in Halloween.
Yeah, hell, I dressed as Ghostface this year.
Yeah,
I dressed as Ghostface for 6 years in a row. Yeah,
yeah.
for 6 years in a row.
Why not
uh,
7?
one of my favorite scenes was, and I think it was 5 or 6, might have been 6, where they had all the different Scream masks from all the last 5 killings, and they collected them. I liked how like they paid homage to the different masks from
Hmm.
the previous 5. It's like it's so fun to be that self-aware of themselves.
Well, and I mean, there's even like messages in the whole thing because you think about it, the Scream mask is not like a scary mask. The Scream face is scared.
Right.
Like his face is screaming because he's scared. And actually, it's, supposed to be the Scream,
Right,
the
right.
picture,
Yeah.
the Scream, and
Yeah,
that's where the title Scream comes from. Um, but it's kind of like echoing somebody's face back at them.
Yeah.
Somebody's screaming as you're killing them, but they're looking at a screaming face.
That's deep. I like that.
Yeah, they
Uh,
thought about it a little
yeah.
bit.
No, I
Well,
I honestly hadn't even thought about that, but I did know that the mask was a reference to the Scream.
mhm,
I just never noticed a little parallel of, like, the person being killed looking back at themselves in a way.
yeah.
mhm. Um, how do we feel about the Scream? So we are watching Scream and they are watching Stab. Like
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
No, I went
yeah.
through like a whole 45-minute video about the history of the Stab movies inside the Scream franchise, and it is so deep that it's almost like makes your head spin. But while you're watching the movies, obviously it's not like, distracting or
right,
boring, but there's so much in there that it's too deep. It's too deep.
right.
The meta is so crazy.
It's like
I mean, it was
Inception
also
Scream.
Well, again, Scream 2 begins with them watching Stab, and then they're in a movie watching Stab, and somebody gets stabbed by Ghostface while watching Stab
Yep.
about
I mean,
about
in
a
a
movie
Scream movie.
about a movie of the making of Stab.
Yeah.
A little bit of a stabception, you could
yeah.
say.
The funny thing also was how each character processes like the end of each movie. Like Courtney Cox's character, she's writing a book about how she survived and stuff like that. It's always funny to me how one person is just trying to let go of the past, and then there's another person like trying to profit off
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
of like what happened to her, and like
Hence why
yeah,
Ghostface keep coming, right?
yeah.
Um, one, if anything, watch. I think you have to watch the first 5 to 10 minutes of every movie because they always have the best kill scenes.
Mm. Yeah.
Spoiler of the new Stab movie that they're watching. So that's always super interesting. And then watch a little bit or um, the characters that you see throughout it, the list of celebrity that are in these movies. You have to go back rewatch them. It is fascinating who makes appearances in these movies.
Pretty A-list celebrities for the time, like
Yeah.
David Schwimmer and stuff like
I
that.
mean,
Like
first one was Drew
there's
Barrymore.
like
So
3 of the 5
Mhm.
friends in
Yes.
I think in the second movie. No, the third movie, sorry.
Third one. Timothy Oliphant is in one.
Mhm.
Like the really early Sarah Michelle Gellar was in 2. Joshua Jackson was in 2. And then it's just bonkers who they all have, like these weird celebrities that are just babies.
And not to
Yeah.
like It's not, you know, when like you watch an episode of Law and Order and there's like a famous actor, you're like, okay, well he's the
Yeah.
he's the killer then, I guess, because why would they hire him on for one episode to not kill somebody? But in the Scream movies, it's mostly just like 2-bit characters who end up
Yeah,
getting killed.
And you
it's
said
fascinating. I
Drew
think
Barrymore for the first one?
Yeah, young Drew Barrymore in the first one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so what was interesting about the Drew Barrymore was they put her front. I think she's front and center on
top build.
yeah,
Yeah,
and on the poster and everything, and she doesn't make it after out of the first 10 minutes.
yeah.
Nope.
But she has the most memorable scene of the whole movie.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
Yes.
really kickstarted the franchise that says we don't care how famous you are on the cover, you're done. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Uh, just for the novelty, I think you should watch it. Definitely the 1, 3, and 5. But it is
Yeah,
kind of
originally
interesting.
I had plans to watch 1, 2, and 5. So it kind of lines up with what I wanted. So I might just go through 1, 2, 3, 5, and then like you said, the first 10 minutes of the ones I don't watch.
Right.
Yeah.
What do we think about the killings? So I think uh, of the horror slasher film, I think we can all agree that in '96, Scream brings back the idea of a slasher. We got knives. We're hunting people that we're chasing them all over the place. How do we feel about the kills?
I think lately they've gotten way more creative with the kills. Not only in the Scream franchise, but in all slasher franchises, right? Maybe Halloween didn't end as well as we wanted it to, but the
Definitely
killings
not.
kept getting crazier and crazier, right? So I think if anything, they have way more imagination than they used to when it comes to killing somebody.
Yeah.
And I mean, for example, I don't know if any of you guys played Dead by Daylight or have played it, but like they have Ghostface in that game, and he has like the selfie kill as one of his finishers.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So like, and also like, since we're going more into like them trying to go with today's generation of technology and stuff, like they like Pablo said, they can get more creative with their killings.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think I like how they've incorporated technology over time because like in Scream, I'd like to say 5, they really played in the first scene that there are now cell phones.
Yeah.
So it's no longer the
Yeah.
landline, it's no longer
The self out
yeah.
the phone towers are down. Like they let technology exist.
They no longer make it a crutch of like, oh no, he cut the landline. Now we can't call the police.
yeah.
It becomes more creative in how they have to stop the victim from getting help rather than just, you know, turning the power off,
Yeah.
which worked perfectly in 1996. But
And then that that legacy character that got killed was pretty gruesome the way he got killed, right? So it's just are they gonna one up themselves this time with the kills? I feel like that's what we're looking for in these new ones, right?
But as a group, do we want to see bigger kills? Like can a kill in a Scream movie be too much?
maybe. I think that one of the charming things about the first one, 1996, is that one of the biggest clues on who is one of the first killers, which is Stu Macher, is that they show over and over in the movie, but I think it's only like 3 times, but it feels like
Yeah.
every time we see him that Stu is very clumsy. He falls off things a lot. And then when he is actually being Ghostface instead of Billy, all of a sudden Ghostface is
Oh
tripping.
shit! Yeah.
He's missing people. People are able to easily just like duck under him. And I thought it was kind of interesting that like unlike Michael Myers, who's gonna come at you like a train, he's unstoppable, he's a professional, he's never gonna back up. The Scream killers are not professionals.
No.
They're just people. Like they're 2 like high school students in the first one. Obviously in the second one they're like a grown adult man, I guess, and a woman, but like
It was Billy's mom. It was Laurie Metcalf.
which I think is a great there's so many great references in Scream to other horror movie franchises. and it being his mother is like a reference to Friday the 13th when it's Jason Voorhees' mother that is the killer.
The bastard kid would be from 3 would be a play on Elm Street
Yep.
because
Well,
he was born from
there's straight up a janitor scene where he's wearing, it's Wes Craven, by the way.
Yeah.
He's wearing like Freddy Krueger outfit and he's a janitor. And it's a reference to Elm Street because Wes Craven also directed that. But
Yeah.
a lot of like loving references to horror movies as well as being a parody and finding the silliness in it.
Well, just in the trailer that we see for this new one, we see the girl that's hanging down by the chandelier, and then her feet like slide, and she ends up falling on the. Well, we can assume she ends up falling on the knife, right?
Right.
Like that's one of the ones we haven't seen yet in any of the movies, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a Home Alone setup, you
yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah.
like a trap, but by the bad guys this time.
Yep.
But we don't. Would it be too much if it got into like real Saw-like stuff? Like, do we need all that blood, or like a Final Destination, like real elaborate kills, or are we okay with just a nice simple kill? Fun,
I mean,
maybe
I feel
different.
like
What do you
I
guys
feel
think?
like the important thing is the build up to it sometimes.
There you
Like
go.
it doesn't have to be like something like really huge when it
Uh-huh.
comes to the final blow. I feel like how he sets it up, how the the build up to it, just trying to get the heart racing in the scene.
Yeah.
Well, you want to see that
I don't
chase.
think.
Well, you need to
Yeah.
see the chase for
Yeah.
sure. They need to escape 1 or 2 times and you think they're fine and then
Yeah, I don't think we need to see like a grandiose or a big kill or anything like that. Like,
I don't mind creative, but I do agree that we don't need something like Saw or like Terrifier where it's over the top for what can be
Okay.
shown on screen or something like that.
Right. Good. Thank you. So I make sure we're all
Yeah.
because I think if it goes, I like that it's over the top already, but I definitely think that there's a limit.
I certainly
yeah.
think they try to keep it like within that PG-13, like as much as they
Yeah.
can sneak by under the level of R because
Yeah.
they want teenagers to see this movie. That's who the demographic is for it, is teenagers want to see other teens getting killed.
Right.
Also keep those kills possible, right? Like, come on, don't. There's some kills in some of these slasher movies that you're like, come on, man, like,
Yeah, you
are
don't
you
want to get
serious?
silly.
To be fair, though, are some of the more enjoyable ones to watch sometimes, though, where like, obviously you're not gonna be scared because it throws you out of that loop where you know it's not real anymore. But it
Right.
is so enjoyable to watch those sometimes.
Right. Well, I think it's because I love the Chucky franchise. I love everything that they did with the series, and similar to Scream, Chucky leaned into the absurd. Like some of
Yeah.
his kills were just bonkers, and they lean into it. So I can appreciate um a kill when they are like when they build up to it, or they spend some time to be like, we're gonna get a little bit more absurd, a little bit more, but not over the top.
But it's all about your franchise and
Yeah.
what you're trying to achieve because Chucky is silly. It's an evil
Yeah.
I
doll.
think it's so good.
He's always cracking jokes. It's all about how funny it is. Scream, it has like a tongue-in-cheek atmosphere to it. But like those like more intense kills are not bad if they're in a movie like Saw because that's
Right.
what you're there for. You're there
Mhm.
for the shock factor and the gore and the blood because they know their franchise and their viewers.
What do we think about the characters? Like, she touched base on it a little bit, but Cindy Prescott. Like, how do we feel about her as a leading, the new Scream Queen of recent movies? How do we feel about her, Courtney Cox, and then the new girls that are keep coming in? Why is it always the girls? You think?
I think they want to see somebody that is not going to be able to fight off a killer because, especially in this franchise, if your killer is Stu Macher, but your like victim is like a regular dude or like a buff dude,
Yeah.
of course he's going to be able to fight him with the knife hand to
I don't
hand.
know.
It could
Sabretooth
happen.
died.
It could happen. action, but like with a girl, especially like these like younger girls,
Right.
they're not going to be able to fight off most men,
Right.
let alone somebody who's stronger or
Right.
bigger.
Huh. I
And there's a little
I
bit of
think it's
the
like
innocence and virginity
I
and
think
the,
it's
Yeah.
like
but they actually talk about that in the first movie where they say it's it's about being a virgin. It's about, that's how you survive. And
Didn't he make that one? But didn't Billy make that one quote of like, "This is what you get for like not putting out," basically.
well, she does put out. She does put out in the first one. That's the thing is he says like, you're so messed up from a missing mom that you like effed a
You're right.
psychopath. So she does put out to him eventually, but the idea of like, the virgin survives in most slasher films is so pervasive that you almost can't get away from
Yeah.
it. That's the one that you're looking for. That's the one you're rooting for because they seem pure, even though your brain goes, oh, well, that's an antiquated idea. But in that context, you think about it and you're like, that's the person, that's the survivor. You never look at one of the guys and go, he's going to be the last one.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's also like a full circle moment for at least for Nev Campbell, right? Where she's coming back. She's she's she got paid what she deserved apparently now because she agreed to coming back to the series. And then she's the one that started everything, and now they're gonna bring her daughter into it, right? So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Seeing how they do that aspect of it, and if these legacy characters are gonna keep coming out in it after this one,
Right.
which most likely they are, but you never know. They already killed one of them, so
Right.
yeah.
And they killed the guy.
Yeah.
So,
Uh.
although,
One.
although they say he is coming back.
well,
How? I don't
Billy
know.
Loomis came back
Yeah.
to be a flashback
Yeah.
character for like all of 5.
What's Dewey gonna do? Be like, hey, remember the first movie? One. The other types of horror that you watch, do you see a lot of strong female characters in some of the Japanese stuff, or some of those those standalones that you watch, those little bit offbeat ones? Do we see a lot of strong female characters in other genres or other
I feel like a
types?
lot of the movies I've explored, I have not seen strong female ones. Like a lot of female centered ones, but I don't think they mostly struggle to survive compared to like actually taking back and like taking control of the situation when it comes to whatever is threatening them.
Right.
So definitely more realistic
Yeah.
because if you
Yeah.
have like, any kind of situation where you're going to be overpowered, it's probably going to be the female who gets
Right.
overpowered first.
Yeah. I think I think one of the other franchises that are like women are usually um that usually survive is the Halloween franchise,
Yeah.
right? With Jamie Lee Curtis, and then now the last ones were the daughters, and you know, so so it kind of those are the two similar ones, I
Yeah.
believe. But from what I've seen as well, it's usually the male characters that
Right.
survive.
I mean, there's that horror movie that we recently watched. What was the name of that one? That's having a movie coming out this year, a sequel. Ready or Not?
Oh, right.
Oh, Ready or
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
And that one they actually gave her the power. Like she was fighting back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when she
Ha-
smacked the kid that like ratted her out.
yeah.
But in that movie, like all the ones that are hunting them down, they're like they do not know how to use a weapon, or
No.
so
Have y'all seen Ready or Not?
I have not.
No.
it's a good.
Oh, it's a really great
No,
movie.
really enjoyable.
Yeah. And then the sequel's coming out this year too, so
Mhm.
if y'all
We'll cross over again.
Gotta check it out
yeah.
now.
Because with the what's interesting is Halloween and Scream, I think would be the two defining moments in which the slasher film became popular.
Right.
Yeah.
So the two that kind of blow trailblaze have strong female returning characters. Whereas every other franchise, they kill off everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
that's one of the
pretty
big
much.
things with Scream is that you're here for those people. You
Yeah.
want to see Courtney Cox. You want to see like Neve Campbell. You want to see like David Arquette. You want to see those people that you know in every situation that's possible because they're who you're holding on to. They're the core of the film,
Right.
which is why handing off the torch is so hard because from 1996, so like literally 30 years ago, we've been seeing these same characters in this role of holding this franchise together, and then they try to hand it off. I think like in the fifth one, it got better by the sixth, but like the fifth one you need to see to get the new characters. But they kind of seem like they're trying to fill the same roles. Like one is like the Sydney person, and one like they're trying to like one wants to be Randy, who dies immediately in one, but like
Right.
there's always that character who knows too much about. Well, Randy plays it twice.
Yes.
They use his the video of his dead self to explain things in the
Like-
sequel.
Like after the second one, he's like, "All right, we might be in a trilogy." Like the idea that these movies are so meta that the one character is like, "Hey man, Ghostface came back again. Let me write you a trilogy because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die soon."
Well, and then in 5, they totally changed the meta like dialogue to being about reboots. They talk about like Star Wars and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, isn't it so terrible when they do a reboot and they try to bring on legacy characters?" So they know exactly what they're doing in the franchise, but they're also just making fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's also like people were furious when Nev Campbell didn't appear in the
Mm-hmm.
in that sixth one, right?
Right.
Cuz they want to see that legacy character. They want to see how she survives it again by helping the other characters again, right?
Right.
So
And you can't kill her off, but you have to explain her absence.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Yes.
"Oh, she's just not here. Don't worry about it."
She's on a cruise.
And we're all the whole movie. We didn't know if we didn't know about the contract issues. You'd be like, "Oh, she's gonna show up any second.
Right?
Sydney's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be here any second," and then she doesn't show up the whole movie, and everyone's like, "Wait, what? Wait, where's Sydney? Where'd she go?"
And
Sydney is the
that's
franchise.
when you start getting the people that are like, Sidney Campbell wasn't on in the movie. What the hell? Like just the bad reviews just because that one character isn't
Yeah, it can
in
be
there.
difficult. It's like trying to push on the mantle. It's like with Captain America and trying to push it on to
Oh man, don't get me started on that.
well, say a couple different people in the show show
Right.
up as Captain America, but it never feels the same. It's like Scream without Sidney Prescott wouldn't feel the same. It would feel like an imitation,
Yep.
like you're getting dollar store Scream or something.
How do you feel about because wasn't there a bunch of Halloweens where Jamie Lee Curtis didn't come back?
I wouldn't say there's a bunch where she didn't come back.
Like within canon, I mean, so
There's one that's like called Halloween Season of the Witch, and it does not have Michael Myers or Jamie Lee Curtis in it. It's very odd
I
and
think
strange.
Michael Myers appears for like 2 minutes of the movie just in like the TV
Yeah, they
on TV.
originally John Carpenter didn't want Michael Myers to be the face of the franchise. He wanted it to be more of like an episodic thing, but it took off so far that he couldn't like control it. So they had Halloween 2, which came out 2 years later, but it's supposed to be like the same night, but everybody looks like they're 2 years older. And then when it was 3, he's like, "Let me do my own thing. I want to do the thing I wanted to do," and nobody wanted to watch it because they wanted Michael Myers.
Yep.
They wanted Jamie Lee Curtis. They wanted that same feeling that they got when they watched Halloween 1978.
That's what happens when you write characters too well.
Yeah.
well, what's interesting too is like when you make these horror films, I don't think you make them thinking they're going to be these blockbuster hits. I think they're cheap to make, and you're just like interested in just like, let's make a horror movie. Paranormal Activity. That no one thought that movie was going to be good.
Yeah.
A bunch of black and white footage and like made for like 25 grand, and then all of a sudden this thing just takes off and makes like
88 minutes
oh
of
my
nothing
God.
happening and then 2 minutes of scares.
Like like it has to feel good though that you make something because you want to make a slasher.
They are the cheapest film to make.
They are absolutely the
Yeah.
cheapest things to make. I love them.
So suffering from success is what you're saying
Yeah.
with slasher films.
I think
Just wanna see more of them.
the thing that costs the most in those movies are the cameras.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. The cultural impact. What do you think Scream's cultural impact has been? Like, how are you guys seeing it over the last like 30 years?
Like I mentioned this before, you're gonna see a Scream on Halloween every
Year.
year.
Right.
Regular versions, funny versions,
Funny
sexy
version.
versions.
Yeah.
Gothic
Yep.
versions.
Like the whole it just never dies for sure. It's become like a classic Halloween
Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even found someone that made a mask that was like the Scream mask, but it was like with Deadpool coloring.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
So they could
cool.
wear it for a Deadpool costume. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool how it starts merging into other fandoms.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely very moldable.
We touched base on Scary Movie. It was a franchise making fun of itself and being aware of itself to be like, let's go one step further and make it more.
Even so.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if anything, it took more inspiration on Scream because it also became a horror franchise that brought its reoccurring characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And it was that nice Scary Movie was that place that we can reference other scary movies. Like we can bring in a sauce scenario, signs,
Yeah.
like how they can just take from everything else that was relevant in that time and be like, we're just gonna make fun of it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I do think those type of movies are necessary because, for example, my childhood trauma movie was The Ring, maybe. So
Yeah.
I used to be terrified of that movie.
Then Scary Movie came out.
The Scary Movie 3 came out, and honestly, it made it such a funny concept that I was like, you know what? I don't even know what I'm afraid of.
That's a good strategy
when
if
they
you're
start
scared.
fighting.
When she's like, "Oh, you changed me with your kindness," I was like, "Really? No."
No,
Like, throw her back in the
well. I think what's interesting too is Scream showed that you didn't have to have a bunch of sex, a bunch of nudity. They definitely played into that PG-13, like that Gen X. Like we want a slasher for ourselves. So it's kind of interesting that we bring back stronger female characters and we focus more on like that story, and kind of get away from that like that weird sexiness that some of the previous ones always had.
Yeah.
I don't know. For Gen X, if you look at the 1980s Hollywood movies for like horror, it was all boobs and butt and sex and everything like that. So I think that is your movie. That's your genre. I think it's
If
more
I
for
may ask a
like
question.
millennials or Gen Z
Yeah.
that they wanted less of like shaming people for their like moral quandaries in order to justify a killer coming after them. And even like people like, for instance, John Carpenter, he was like, I did not intend this to mean that if you had sex, you were bad.
Right.
Michael Myers does kill his sister first, because she had sex while like she was supposed to be watching him. But whether that was like a moral judgment and then he just killed those other people because they were supposed to be watching kids, but they were doing something naughty.
Wow.
It had nothing to really do with like the purity of it or like that sort of thing. It was more like that was his moment. Was that she was supposed to be doing something and she wasn't, and he was evil.
What was your question?
This is more like a spoiler question for the Scream franchise since I haven't seen them, but I am curious to see how many of these reoccurring victims have actually become Ghostface at all, if any.
I don't believe
Because you guys
any.
were mentioning how in the newer ones it's become more stabby and they're almost looking like they're kind of getting that joy of the kill or the thrill of the kill.
Yes.
So I am curious if like the franchise ever dabbled into making a recurring victim one of join the cult, you may say.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So that is like a theory for 7 because of those two victims in particular who were like I think daughters of Billy Loomis.
One was a
Yeah.
daughter of Billy Loomis, and one was like a step sister.
Yeah, like they were like related to Billy Loomis, who was the original killer. So they have like a connection with the killers already. So that would be an interesting thing to happen. I don't
Mm.
think anywhere in the franchise
I think
before has it been a previous victim who becomes the killer. I mean, like,
I think that's where it was going for this one, right?
Right.
I
yeah,
think that's where it was going until that mishap with Melissa Barrera happened, and then Jen Ortega wasn't able to film this one. So I think they might deviate from that storyline.
yeah.
The heroes of 5 and 6 come back in 8 to face off against the like the two legacies. Like it's like Civil War.
Okay, Hayden Panettiere becomes the killer now.
Hey, I'd watch that. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. Real quick, we'll go through the list of the movies. You had Billy Loomis and
Stu
Stu.
Macher.
The second one was Billy's mom.
Yep.
So there's a real like this movie. The franchise loves family. Don't fuck with my family because we're gonna come back and kill you. You have a stepbrother in 3.
That was Roman.
That was Roman.
Well,
Then
I
you
saw
had some
3
cousins.
then, not 4.
Huh?
I saw 3, not 4 then.
Okay.
Okay.
4 was Sydney's cousin.
Because she wanted fame. No, but the leave off of that movie was kind of the craziest because they leave it off almost on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Wes Craven was like, "I'm out," but also here's a cliffhanger for you. I won't ruin it for you, but
But so now all the family's gone. So now you have 5 come in, and it's just it taps into like this the social media aspect of like, we want to be famous. Let's be famous for killing somebody.
right.
So they build this cult a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you have the heroes related to Billy.
Yes.
So that's how we tie the family back in.
Yeah, you have to tie in the legacy characters somehow to the killings, or
Right.
else it's not going to be
Yep.
a Scream movie.
And then 6 was the family of the cult in 5.
Yeah,
So we have to like
it's the same people. It's the same people.
we're like, we need to create more families, so let's switch it around a little bit.
But I will say that it's interesting for the whole franchise. I don't remember a single movie where this was not true. The killer is always seen inside that movie. So they're never like somebody from a past movie who just came back. They're always in that movie. It's always possible to find out who the killer is, if you're watching. And like that's like an interesting thing because it's not just like Michael Myers and he's evil, I guess, or Freddy Krueger and he's like some kind of weird demon thing. It's somebody who is there. They give you a chance. It's like a whodunit.
Yeah, yes.
Like a mystery.
Yeah, the real big on the whodunit. I love it.
And you
Yep.
there's clues everywhere. Like if you go back and watch the first one and you're watching the beginning scene and he's saying like, I really love scary movies. Here's some quizzes for you. And then the first like time we see Billy Loomis, he's in there talking about Poltergeist. The second time we see him, he's talking about Silence of the Lambs. He just keeps talking about how much horror movies he likes. And we're supposed to think it's Randy because he likes horror movies, but Billy always talks about horror movies. And he has all this specialized knowledge, but you don't think it's going to be him because he's the boyfriend. And also because his cell phone wasn't like the cell phone that was used. And then he gets stabbed at one point, but he's not actually dead. But you are getting clues and hints to who the person is, which it feels fun that you can actually figure it out.
But what else is fun about about every one of these movies is you have the killer and there's always a second kill. There's always a reveal at the end.
Yeah.
There's always because like you're like, oh, it was Billy, and they're like, and Stu.
Yeah, there's always like a secret thing because you can find out it's Billy, but you're not going to find out that the reason that Billy doesn't like Sydney is because her mom slept with his dad and made his mom. None of that has to do with the mystery. That doesn't have to do with figuring out it's him. You can see that he wears the same boots as the killer when he's sitting by the fountain. There's like so many little tiny clues that have nothing to do with like the actual motive. So you can find out the killer, but the motive has to be revealed at the end. It is something outside of what you would know.
Right.
You also for the first one, what they did, if you would notice, like one's killer is right-handed, the other one is left-handed. So that's like little clues again, little clues that they give you.
And then in the fifth one was taller than the other.
Hmm
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like the interesting thing that they did was, again in Scream it was two killers, but then the next one, 2 and 3 where it was one, and then they went back to two, and then 1 and 6 it was three. So it's like we also have to figure out if there's one like
How many they
how
are.
many
How
Right.
many
actually are
killers?
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's all because 2 was Laurie Metcalf, where she tricked, Timothy Oliphant to do it, but she was the mastermind behind it.
Yeah.
So it was always
Mhm.
interesting to be like, there has to be at least one more person involved in this thing. It's a conspiracy,
Yeah. It's a conspiracy of the two most unlikely people finding each other and deciding to kill
right?
people.
2 are murderers, 3 is a conspiracy.
Like one person could have gone to therapy and we could have avoided this all. Like if Stu Macher wasn't a creepy psycho,
Yeah.
because that dude had no motive.
Stu?
Not really.
No.
She asked why he did, and he's like, peer pressure. I don't know. Like, there's no real motive for Stu Macher.
So Stu,
So if Stu wasn't crazy, would Billy really have done this all by himself?
right? And we would not have had these other movies. So, like, if we're going to go time traveling, we got to go
Kill
back.
Stu Macher.
We kill Stu. Boom. No, the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
I like it.
Maybe we need like a Scream What If series, you know?
Yes.
Alternate timelines.
Maybe someone else would have become the killer.
True. Maybe it was always destined to be.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like it.
Randy became the killer.
Yeah. Randy is like, Randy would have got picked on by, because he, like, something weird would have happened. And
But he hated Billy
Yeah.
Loomis, so he was jealous of him. It wouldn't have worked.
So we got number 7 coming up. Juan's going to catch up a little bit on some of the previous movies and maybe watch a YouTube video, like the timeline, and get to understand it a little bit.
Oh yeah, if you want to be lazy, there are videos out there that are just like, I will explain you everything that
In
happens
15 minutes.
in like 45 minutes. I'll go over 6 movies and you'll know everything by the end of this.
I'll probably do that for the ones I can't fully catch up with before.
And then I have to say which ones I've watched again because I messed up.
Again?
Yes. Yes. It was 1, 3, 5, and 6.
Okay.
I forgot that I watched 5 as well.
Oh, very cool.
It's good choices though.
Yeah.
I like that.
So our predictions going into 7. I think it's the question we've all brought up a handful of times. Do we kill Nev Campbell? Does Sidney Prescott? Do we lose the final legacy character? Do we let go of her? What do we think, Eddie?
You killed Gail Weathers because she's still in
Yeah, I
there.
was gonna say we got Gail.
Well, I don't think they're going to
Courtney
kill off
Cox.
Chew. I don't think they'll kill off Chew.
I think it's who needs the paycheck. Is it Courtney Cox?
Right?
Who's waiting on that 8 money?
Right. Well, so I guess like the question is like, are we ready for Nev Campbell to leave the franchise and stop being the face? So it's not necessarily the legacy character, because we could keep Gail around.
I think it depends on how they make the character of her daughter.
Okay.
It depends on how well they do her daughter's character, because maybe that will be the
The passing
handing
of the
of
torch?
the
When you face the franchise.
passing on the torch, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to have her overshadowing her daughter as the like main character of the franchise.
And then it gives her daughter the same trauma that helped Sydney for 6
But
movies.
in that case, they should have done that in 5. Like, I mean, they should have just kept it down to one legacy character who could just. It's kind of like, well, they had 2 legacy characters, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, but like, they should have had one. Like, just have one person to carry on the legacy, give them advice, help them out, make a cameo. But right now, the sheer star power of having Gail Weathers and Sidney Prescott is just completely like, we're not bonding with the other characters because we don't care about them.
So can a Scream franchise live without the 2? What are you thinking?
Like, the thing is, we also said, like, are they actually dead? That's the thing.
Well,
because
think about it
in
this way.
in Scream 4, it looked like they killed Hayden's character, and then she came back in 6
Right.
Yeah, as a
at the
FBI
cross.
agent.
Or FBI, yeah.
But I mean, like, if the show can go on without legacy characters because it's based on a different story, I think that the franchise can go on as long as they kind of just forget about they gotta forget about the Billy Loomis, they gotta
Yeah.
forget about the Sidney Prescott, like, they gotta forget about tying everything to that same storyline and come up with something new and exciting,
But
which is, like, what the show kind of tried to do, is come up with a
If
different scenario and
Mhm.
different, like, spin on something rather than trying to lean on old stuff.
but then wouldn't
it's
the
kind of
Scream
like
franchise?
the
Yeah, go ahead.
it's kind of like the Star Wars effect, right? We're
Mhm.
still hanging on to that Skywalker saga when there's a vast universe that we
Correct.
can talk about, right?
Right.
Exactly. A million stories out there that you can tell, but everybody wants to hear about Skywalker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Right. But Star Wars did it. They killed everybody off. Everybody's gone. Like, so if we get a new Star Wars,
kind of on
R-
accident. One of the people
Ray
died in real
Ray is
life.
still
yeah,
Like
alive.
they
Ray's
didn't mean to
keeping the
kill her
legacy
off.
going.
She's not a Skywalker. I don't care what you say.
Ray's still keeping the legacy going though.
right.
Mhm.
Not a
But there was
Skywalker.
a clear
That's
passing
a
of that
That's
Palpatine.
torch
Palpatine.
for her, though.
Yeah, but tell a different story. Does not Skywalker can't be the only important thing in the galaxy.
No, he's everything.
Yeah.
But if we get rid of the legacy characters, does Scream turn into like more of a basically it's almost an anthology now, like an anthology like scary movies in series.
I mean, it can still continue on as an idea, right?
Right.
It's the idea of there's a different killer every time,
Right.
the people have different motives.
Sorry.
It's kind of episodic. Right now, the only
Right.
thing that was consistent was the characters, and we can keep that consistent with the new legacy
Right.
characters. But gives them a new story, not like your mom was a, you know, you know what, and
Right.
that actually caused all the problems, which is a little bit problematic, don't you think?
Right.
Is her mom slept around,
Mom wasn't a whore, we would be alive still.
and that was the problem because she had like a
You're almost
Billy Loomis's family got messed up, and then she had a weird stepbrother she didn't know about, and it went back to like slut shaming.
Right.
Well,
uh do we think they kill off either one of the remaining two legacy characters? And do you think Scream can survive another 20 years without Sidney Scott or Gail?
I think it can survive without them, but I think they'll hold on killing them off a little longer.
Okay.
Especially because from what I saw, Nev Campbell was the one that said that they're already shooting Scream 8.
Hmm.
So I don't know. But I believe they can, as long as the story's good, people will go watch it whether the legacy characters are there or not.
But will Scream 8 be the end of it? Like you said, another 30 years, but do we want Scream for another 30 years?
Because that's
Come up with something new. Come up with a new franchise. I know we all love it, but that's okay. We have it still. You can go watch it.
The
that's the
problem
big
is, as
question
long
right
as
now
the
with
audience wants to watch. Oh, sorry.
No, but
The problem is, as long as the audience wants to watch and is willing to pay to go to the theater, they're gonna keep doing it as long as
Yep.
they see the potential there.
Yeah, I just think that it's a little bit boring and trite, and I think that a lot of big studios are wondering why people are not going to the theaters, and I'm like, you're not making people excited to go to the theater if they're gonna go see the same thing that they saw for the last 30 years. Come up with
Well,
something
that's
new and
that's what we
exciting.
say, but then they keep making more and more money each movie that comes out. It's like why would we stop making these movies if we're making so much more money now than in the beginning, right? If they keep making a profit and it's more each time, they're gonna keep making them.
I think it
So
might be a
Say so
little
they
bit
won't
like
fix
Marvel,
anything.
though.
it ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, yeah.
But, like, Marvel and DC are collapsing under their own, like, bloated self-being right now, and they're not seeing the returns on smaller films as much as they used to. So, if a huge paragon of movies like Marvel movies, which has been huge since the beginning of the 2000s, is now saying we have to change things to innovate and make things better, if not necessarily just completely not making superhero movies anymore because they are Marvel, then shouldn't the horror genre just decide to make something different?
Actually, they backtracked because technically what Marvel is doing is bringing back the people that guaranteed them money. We're gonna get
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. We got Chris Evans back in the movie because they know that's the reason that people are gonna be in the movie theater for it. So realistically, they're not making those changes. They're just going back to what they know works.
I see it as death throes, honestly. They're desperate to get
Oh,
what they
it's
want.
definitely desperate because all you're doing by bringing them back is saying that I can't write a new Marvel movie without
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
'Cause
Jr.
he was the likable one. We liked him, so bring him back.
We
But
can't do a success. If you look at all of the TV shows, all the movies, like the problem that we're running into is like the superhero franchise is oversaturated and we're
yeah,
not getting quality. And just because you bring back some of these old characters doesn't mean it's quality. That's the problem. Is yeah, you're gonna get all my money, but is the story going to be good?
yeah, like I'll see Doomsday, but am I gonna see your next thing? Probably
No.
not. Like nobody saw Madam Web, nobody saw Craven except for me.
That's not part of Marvel. Just putting it out there. That's not part of the
But
Marvel universe.
Yeah.
but you get but you have so much of these
It's
superhero
part of the
movies where
Sony
Yeah.
universe, which
What?
was terrible.
Yeah, but Marvel's becoming almost just as terrible. They can't keep up their own stuff.
right.
All right,
So
Pablo, put on
without
the
these
gloves.
You got wait. Eternals, that was a very different story. Why did no one like it? I don't know. It was very different from what we usually get from Marvel. It was a great movie in my opinion. Uh we got Shang-Chi, we got No Way Home, we got WandaVision. I thought it was great. I don't know if y'all thought it was great. We got WandaVision. We recently got Wonder Man, which they say was great.
Probably one
Yep.
of the best Marvel we've got. Like, it doesn't have to feel like. Here's the thing. So they mention it in Wonder Man, and it's about like superhero movies fall to their tropes, and when they're making Wonder Man, because it's supposed to be like a movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
The focus of the director in that movie is to have a superhero movie telling an actual story. And I was like, so why can't Marvel do that with their other movies? But they're being self-aware in this show about that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about with innovation is like
Yeah.
you're doing
I'm
something different. That's something that people will follow despite the fact that it's still Marvel and it's still this or it's still that. It's still connected to a franchise and a like brand that but it's something different. Like Fantastic Four was something that we've all seen before. We know the Fantastic Four, we know their powers, we know this and that, but they tried to do something a little bit different with it,
Right.
which made people look at it as something interesting and novel rather than, oh God, we already watched the Jessica Alba ones and then the ones that were like the body horror ones that,
Well, what's interesting about the new Fantastic Four is it's barely a superhero movie.
Correct.
It's that's the best. Like it's so weird that it took that long for Fantastic Four to come out and for them to show that you don't have to. You can make a superhero movie that isn't about superpowers. So it's
so I think the problem isn't that they keep making these movies. It's the consistency of the writing, right? So the main problem was when Shapeg was at Disney, CEO at Disney, he just wanted to put out as much content as he could and put it in on Disney Plus, put it anywhere, right? And we saw that dip in quality when we were getting those 30 projects for
Yeah.
3 years. We got 30, 40 projects when before we would get 5 projects in like 5 years, one a project each year, right? So the dip in quality is there because the producer, which is Kevin Feige, was being pulled all over the place and he couldn't produce those TV shows, movies, and that's where we saw the dip in quality, right? But now we got Thunderbolts, we got uh, F- Fantastic Four, we got Daredevil, and we've seen that quality start going up again.
The only problem I will mention with that is that while you might be right on that, we are basically stuck as Prometheus, where we've been punished to the point where every time the wound heals, something else stabs deep in there to reopen that wound. So essentially, the faith in the community keeps wavering because we don't have consistency in these good projects. We get like a really bad project after that's a cohesive universe. So these bad projects do affect the whole image we get, you know?
Yeah, but how many bad projects have we gotten, let's say, the last 3 years
In Marvel?
in Marvel?
Oh, we had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier
Hey.
movie.
A lot of the
I
TV stuff
It
was
was a repeat.
definitely
It was a
lacking.
repeat of the Hulk problem, where it's like, oh, we can just calm him down, and that's how we're gonna win.
No,
But
I
that
thought you said Falcon Windows.
Oh no, the Captain America. Sorry,
I'm a
World, dude.
sorry, I forgot.
I'm a
Brave New World.
backtrack on that though. That was part of the Shape Egg era though.
Yeah.
That movie was part of the Shape Egg era. Since Bob Iger has come back, all of them have been, the quality has been better. We had the $1 billion movie, the second R-rated $1 billion movie, which was the Deadpool and Wolverine, and
Right.
then and then I'll talk a little bit about the DC side here too, because those are my favorite characters.
Yeah.
On the DC side, AT&T effed them up. There was no way that Superman was ever gonna make $1 billion, but it made a profit.
Yeah.
It made a profit, which was their goal, right?
Right.
Their goal is to make a profit, have a great movie so that people can come to the next one.
Right.
Now,
So Marvel has announced that after Secret Wars, they're going to hard reboot the entire universe.
yes.
Is that where we're at with Scream? Does Scream need a hard reboot, get rid of the legacy characters, and start over?
Kill it. Kill Scream. Sorry, I was distracted for a second there.
Because
No, I
we
wouldn't
could
say
get a
hard
new
reboot,
Scream
like-
franchise and give me 2 new characters that we could create new legacy for a new generation.
But why? Make a different killer. Make a different.
Well, that's what I'm saying is-
process.
Same thing with Marvel, though. Marvel is at the point where they're like, we're done. We're going to scrap everything. We're going to get rid of everybody. We're going to reboot the entire franchise.
It's actually not a hard reboot. It'll be a soft reboot.
Like, I feel like the thing that people are looking for to keep the memory of the legacy characters, not completely forget about them. Yes, you can have new characters, like bring up the franchise, but don't forget where it started as well. Like you can have mentions of them in the future, but also not relying on them to carry the franchise.
Right.
I would like to see a reboot in the sense of well, because I still have yet to watch the movies, but if it is getting a little saturated with that, it would be cool if they followed up with you mentioned The Following. If
Mhm.
they had something like that where they took off all this information that we already lived through with the previous Scream movies and made this little cult around it.
There you go. Get rid of the legacy characters, reboot it in the same universe, but now
So
we
you still
got
have
somebody.
everything that happened, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're in Arizona. We got a killer in Arizona who's going to start getting more people
No,
involved.
wait, no.
Wait, no.
A little too close.
Montana.
Maine?
Keep it
Okay,
in
I
name.
like where
okay.
Juan's going with it. I like we can get rid of the legacy characters. We can reboot it.
We're like, what?
I mean, it could become a thing for all you know. Was it years back when we had the whole thing in the U.S. with all the people dressing up as clowns and showing up
Mhm.
everywhere? Maybe we'll start seeing Ghostface everywhere, you know?
Right?
Oh, that's a
No, we have
cult
to do
app,
something like
like-
Back to the Future Part 2 and make like a Western ghost face.
Of 3, yes.
Wild Wild West.
Too.
Yeah.
Can you imagine before a show for this or this little reboot came out,
Mhm.
you start seeing like ads of like random Ghostface sightings across the U.S. and stuff like that?
Right,
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes
Oh,
to
like the
cult app,
clowns
like,
back in
you get their
like
own-
18.
their own
Right.
little group in each state. Yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, I thank you guys for hanging out. I think it was interesting to see you guys' views on the genre of horror, the franchise. And I'm real interested to see what 7 does. When they come back, it'll be like, we were way off. We were all off.
Before
we were all
before we
wrong.
finish though,
Yeah.
I'll give you a little homework for when we do our side of it, right?
Yeah.
Give me your top 5 most anticipated movies from that time to to
for
whenever the year's
26.
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
All
do.
right.
We'll do. We could definitely do that.
Yeah.
And then which movies you've watched this year
Okay.
Oh yeah.
in
Oh,
A
theaters.
lot. A lot. Trust me.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We'll give you 5 of what we've seen this year, or a handful of what we did this year, and what we're looking for.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
All right, it's a
Well,
pleasure
I
meeting
thank
you
you
guys.
guys for hanging out. Everybody listening. Where can we listen to you guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
So on YouTube, we're CineAmigos podcast. We also have our own Spotify and CineAmigos, so you can look for us there. So if you're a Spotify listener, we have all episodes on YouTube and Spotify.
Perfect.
And then Eddie also does TikToks as well.
Mm,
He does like little reels and sometimes just announcing that we put up another video, uploaded another video.
yeah,
Very
Instagram,
So you guys have a
TikTok.
CineAmigos TikTok? Right here, guys. I got it.
You guys have a great evening. We look forward to so this episode will be on a Monday. After you listen to this, go to part 2 to CineAmigos on YouTube and Spotify.
Which
And
will
here,
probably be that same Monday.
yep, that same Monday, because I'll put mine out early. I do 1 a.m. So after this one, go check them out, and you'll hear a full review of Scream 7, just Scream 7, what we liked, what we disliked, and then we're also going to get some of that CineAmigo action, in which
Yeah.
we're going to discuss our favorite upcoming movies for 26 and what we've seen so far in 26. So
Yeah.
we're going to see what it's like to be on another podcast. Oh my God, this will be your first time on another podcast.
Oh no.
And then hopefully for Fan Fusion we can collab as well, and we'll see
As soon
y'all
as I
there.
hear back from AJ, we're going to figure out what he needs from us, and then I'll reach out and we'll figure out what kind of panel we want to do.
It's gonna be a great time though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next side, part 2 at CineAmigos.
Good seeing you guys again.
Whimsy!
Whimsy.